Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is Saturday after Thanksgiving, so I hope you guys enjoyed your time with your family and everything. The wife and I prepped the block yesterday, blocked it off and with tape and everything. The wife and I taped the block off yesterday to get it prepped and ready for paint. I just came out here with some water and soap and washed it off. Obviously, since it's November and where we live, it's definitely not hot out, so it's going to take a while to let this dry. Once it dries up, we will, the wife and I will actually get over here and start priming it and painting it. So we'll take you along for the ride and let you see the process. But he's nice and clean. But there's obviously just got done, so there's water in the bolt holes and stuff like that. I don't have any block offs for any of these bolt holes, so I'm just going to go back in afterwards and clean. If I do get any kind of paint in them, I clean them out. But in today's video, we're just going to paint it, untape it and everything, and see what it looks like. Alright, be back in a little while. Let's see what happens. Alright everybody, we're back. The block's dried up and everything ready to spray. So we're going to get this paint ready and do a couple light coats of primer and do some paint. Now, one of the bolts going here for the I believe it's the water. So I just clogged that hole up with some painter's tape. All these other threads are just for bolts, so I'll clean them out later if I get any paint in them or not. But, and there's our crank. They balance and polish that, so I'll end up putting that in a bag or something later. But this is the primer we're going to use. VHT high temp engine and primer. This will be good enough for doing the block. Do a couple coats in that, and then we'll be doing a couple coats matte or flat black. Don't need it to be too shiny or polished or anything. I mean, the original paint from the factory was like a matte black, so we're just going back to basically what original was. It's been about maybe 30 to 40 minutes since you seen me a little while ago after I washed it, so let's get to it. Alright everybody, so we're going to start spraying this. I taped off the badge for the block with the VIN number on it. So I'm going to do a couple light coats on this side, roll the block over, do a couple coats on the other side, and I have the camera sitting over there so you guys will be able to kind of see it full width. I'm in the little garage right now because I don't want any dust or anything from outside getting on the paint. Alright, so I think you'll be able to see it pretty good. Everything's pretty blocked off and stuff. If I get any paint on any surface that's a mating surface for the gaskets or anything like that that isn't supposed to have paint on it, I'll take a wire wheel later after it all dries out, cures for a few days, and then we'll go back and get rid of any paint that's not supposed to be in certain areas. Alright. I think you guys are able to see pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, it's the bottom. I just taped it all up just to get it cleaned up a little bit. Let me make sure you guys are able to see it good. Alright, there we go. I think that's good. Alright, let's get to it. Now we're just going to do a couple light coats, nothing too thick obviously. You just, since this is the bottom coat, you just want to get light so you'll see the paint from the color of the block through it, which is fine. We'll come back and touch it up. That's why we're doing about three coats. Don't want to block the camera for you guys. But you definitely want to use a high temp paint because you don't want to put any kind of paint on your block that's not going to be able to withstand the heat, because your engine definitely gets pretty hot, especially doing a turbo engine. Gets a lot hotter, and you're definitely going to need to make sure you have the right kind of paint. Alright, we did a light enough coat on this side. We're going to go ahead and flip the block over, and we'll do the other side. So, do this. And I'll turn the stand around so you guys can see what we're dealing with on this side. Alright. Definitely don't want to touch the paint. Don't want to get any smeared or anything. Now there is a couple little spots that have a little dampness on it from water being inside the screw holes. The bolt holes, I mean. So just get those dry enough to where you can go and spray it. Ideally, if I had a heat gun or something, I'd probably heat it up, or if it was nice and hot outside. But it is November, so gotta work with what we got. Now I'll probably go ahead and time lapse a little bit for you guys right here, just so you can get through this, and then we'll get it ready, let it dry, do another coat. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start our next coat. It's been a few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and do our next coat on this side, rotate the block, do the next coat on the other, and see what it looks like. Just trying to make sure we don't have any more of the metal cast iron showing through the paint, through the primer. I mean, obviously it won't, you won't see it when we start doing the main base coat, but I want us to be able to have it the black completely covered with the primer. That way it sticks, adheres to it good, and we don't have to worry about any paint flaking or anything like that later. Because we prepped it pretty good, machine shop cleaned it really good, we washed it and everything really nice. So we want to make sure this has a good area for the paint to adhere to. Alright, let's roll her over, do the other side, and then we'll take a break and get ready to paint. This side's pretty coated well, so we'll do the other side, get that coated nice and neat, and not have to worry about it no more. So roll this over, lock that in there. There we go. Now with this block, there's a lot of little areas, divots and all that kind of stuff, so just take your time, no rush. I mean, don't have to be a showpiece, don't have to be perfect, but you want to take, if you're doing this yourself, anybody, you know, you want to take pride in your work, so you want to make sure it's to your standards and what you want. And obviously all this will be covered up by intake, exhaust, all that stuff. But, I mean, you as the owner are going to know, hey, I missed a spot, and it's always going to be there. So, as long as you take your time, get it to the way you want it, that's what matters. Looks like I got a little spot up here by that bolt. See? Now a lot of these areas, I'm not really, it's a little wet, so the paint's not sticking too much to that. But that's totally fine, because the heads of your bolts are going to sit on all these. So I'm probably going to go back with a wire brush and take all the paint off of all these covers, just so we don't have to worry about that. Alright, so now that that's done, I didn't paint the back of the block, obviously, because your transmission, your flywheel will be there, your clutch and everything, that's not seen. All this is seen in your engine bay. So I want to make sure this looks nice. This don't need to get painted, because this is where your oil pump, your water pump, your belts, all that stuff is right there, so you don't need to, you don't see that. That's all covered. Same with the back. Plus, I'm going to have the plastic cover over all this, because I don't want any rocks or anything chipping up in my belt. When I was younger, I would take that off so I could see the belt and everything, but with the performance engine build, I don't want to take the chance of anything happening and making the engine go on me, especially something like this. that's very fixable and very easy to prevent from happening. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull this pin out of here. Roll the block. Alright, let's see what it looks like. See if we got any more spots that need to be coated. Like right here, any of this stuff that parts get bolted to, we'll probably end up going back with a wire brush and polishing all that off. Any of the faces we're going to polish off. That way we get a clean seal for our gaskets or any of that stuff. It's coating very well. And after this, I'll bring y'all around for a little 360 view of the whole engine block. So you can see it close up. Alright, sit this paint down. Definitely, if you're in a small confined space, you'll definitely want to wear safety glasses or a mask. Obviously I'm not. But here, let me give you a little close look. It's looking like right now. So this is with about 3 coats of primer. It's not bad at all. I made sure to get under these little areas where the primer would actually miss. Some of this stuff you won't even see. But me or you being the person painting it and stuff, you're gonna take notice of what you're doing or what's going in your car. So you're definitely going to want to make sure you like how it looks. So we'll come back here in a little bit and start to get the primer on. See you in a few minutes.
A few moments later.
Okay everybody, we're back. It's been about 25 minutes or so. The block's pretty dry. This engine paint dries pretty quick. So what we'll do is get straight to the point and we'll So it's been maybe 35-40 minutes or so. Still a little tacky in certain areas, but we're gonna go ahead and pull the tape off, and then we're gonna do a little 360 walk around and see what it looks like, and then that'll be it for this video. All right, let's get to it. So we're just gonna take all this, everything I taped up in there. Basically, we're just taking all that out and get it done right. Gotta clean all that mess up. Here's what she looks like. Like I said, certain areas are a little tacky. All this stuff is going to get covered up. That's why I didn't paint it. Because you got your water pump, your belt, your oil pump, everything. All this closes up. So I wasn't too worried about any of that. But looks good. That's the vent I was talking about. I taped that vent off so we can keep that. But I think it looks good. What do y'all think? Now, next week, probably going to try to post the next video up next week, the part 2 to this, which will be us cleaning this top. It was nice and clean until I put that paint on here, or that painter's tape on here. So I got to go in here, clean this off, and we're going to clean out the bores and stuff with some cleaner and everything, and then probably go ahead and start assembling the short block, long block, whatever you want to call it, the bottom end. We're going to try to assemble that next weekend, and then episode 2. The only thing I won't have for the bottom end is the oil pump, water pump, and I don't have the gaskets yet. I'm still waiting on those to get here, so I don't have the gaskets for any of these yet, or the one that's underneath. So we're just going to assemble the rotating assembly basically and get that put in here. But just want to let y'all see that. Alright, thanks for tuning in to episode 1 of the 2JZ cleaning, painting, and assembly build videos. There's, for the bottom end, there's probably going to be a 3-part series. Obviously, part 2, I'm going to try to get out next weekend. Part 3 will be a little bit, because I still got to try to get the oil pump, water pump, and the gaskets in. And then I'll be able to close up the bottom end and put the oil pan on. Which, we have the oil pan. The oil pan's off of a GE, so it doesn't have the return feed for a turbo. So in probably episode 3 of this, we will be drilling that, tapping it, and threading it for the feed return port. And I'll get all that for you guys and show you how that's done and what to look forward to when doing it. But I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, tag, and subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're new here, this is Taino Moto, and we will be doing this 2JZ build for this 78 Corolla wagon over here. Hopefully you guys like the content and stay tuned. There's definitely more to come, more projects after this one. There's a couple down the pipe that I've been thinking about. We'll just see what happens. Alright, God bless. Have a wonderful weekend and have a great holiday.